It's another beautiful day and we welcome you to Changes. We are still in the Ghana month and we are celebrating our own heritage. Today we are going all the way to the Bono and Ahafo regions. We're preparing some dishes from there. However, growing up, we had a way that our parents brought us up. You know, back in the day when you go wrong, your parents will use the folk tales to correct you. They sometimes use their eyes to correct you. But currently things have changed. You can't cane a child, you can't correct the child. You speak and the child speaks back. Now I want to compare how parents used to bring up their children back in the day as to how they are bringing up their children these days, which is better. And I'm here with Reverend Ken Arthur Safo. He is a Methodist, is it Methodist pastor? Methodist. He's with the Methodist Church of Ghana, and he's going to help us with this topic for today. And I need you to stay glued to your television set. Also, our setup, our beautiful setup, is by Afri Pub, and they are going to give us our beautiful drinks for today. I must tell you, their food tastes so fresh. You should try their palm wine. You will not regret it at all. So let's get talking about our parenting skills this day as compared to back in the day. Welcome, Reverend.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Great. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's good to have you here.
Thanks.
All right. So, Rev, talking about parenting, we know we are comparing back in the day to today. You know, things have really evolved. Talking about how we used to correct our children, but now you can't correct your child like that. Even the language is different now. But when we talk about parenting in general, what is really parenting?
Thank you very much for having me. Yes, parenting is basically whatever that we do to raise, nurture, and grow our children as mother, father, or a caregiver, a guardian, something like that. Whatever that you do, you put in to ensure the child grows and grows into a responsible adult person.
So now we are talking about past and the present.
Sure.
I don't want to even go into the future because nobody knows what the future holds. But past and present, and back in the day, how were our parents bringing up that made us who we are today?
This is very interesting, having seen not the very past, but our past.
We can start from the very past. When you were young, and then you bring it to when you were bringing up the 30s, and then you can now go into the teens for now.
Right. So the whole issue about the past and how parents brought up their children. Let me concede that it differs from one place to the other. However, most of us as Ghanaians and as Akans or something else, I know today you're not discussing Akans, but don't worry. It could be the same almost everywhere. Yes. Parents were in charge of their children. And significantly, when they were not available, the family supporting systems were working. So you would get a grandparent living in the same house with the couple raising up the child. You would by all means get an uncle or an aunt who is also at home helping. So the child was never without a parent at any given instance.
Right.
Every moment there's some significant adult in charge. So it made life like it was a flowing something. So that was in the past. That was where, as soon as you grew up a little, you are given responsibility over your younger siblings, and will be tired. Let them make a mistake,
you are
and
blamed
you'll be punished.
for it. Yes.
Oh, not just blamed. If for blaming, you didn't even have any cause to complain, but you'll be punished for it. Yeah, and then because there were other people at home all the time helping, you wouldn't go wrong. So you grew up knowing what was right, what was not right, what is acceptable in society, what is not acceptable in society, what the family values are, and what the family values are not. You get to know all this. So you grow becoming a full matured person, and you know almost everything about your culture too. So you don't make mistakes and disgrace your family.
Because you know that you'll be held accountable for it. So as a parent back in the day, what kept you going, and why did you decide to instill such principles in the children?
I was not a parent then.
Okay.
So, but our parents felt that we need to guide our children in a certain way so they would not depart from it when they grow old.
Let me ask you this. Was it because of the society that you came from? Was it that you felt society will criticize you, the parent, if the child should go wrong?
Forget about the criticism, the disgrace, the shame that you can bring upon the family, not the criticism. If you are criticized and you are go scot-free, I mean, that was it. But in the olden days, when a child makes a mistake or commits an abomination, and it is not well addressed, and if it angers the gods and you could be banished from the community. You'll be excommunicated from the community. And once you're taken away from the community, your child is not going alone. Somebody will have to follow.
Right. Talking about the gods, and again, I'll have to ask you this, because once you hit on the gods, somebody will ask, could it be that Christianity has changed it?
Exactly. Christianity has brought a lot of transformation to society because that is what Christianity stands for.
Okay.
That which is, but is not the best, we correct it, polish it, and make it best in Christ.
All right. I'll hold on a question for that in the future. But then we're still talking about this particular issue of the past bringing up the children. Again, I'll ask this question. You know, speaking of the fact that the society will banish you, hence you feel my child should not bring any shame to me. However, what about you as a parent? As at that time, what were the parents really looking out for in the children, aside the fact that they didn't want any shame?
Yes. So if I don't want shame, what am I looking for? I'm looking for that which society will accept.
Was it just to please the society or to please you as a parent?
You have your share as a parent. When the honor comes, it comes to you. Does this Akan proverb? Besia okwawara odene, meaning if a woman goes to marry or enters into marriage, she enters with the mother. Why? The mother has taught you how to cook, how to do household chores and all that. So you are well versed in that area. So if you go and you do not perform, it means your mother didn't teach you well. So the parent will get the honor, the family, not only the nuclear but extended, and then the community.
Okay.
So everyone is looking up to you to be the best you could be.
We again throw it back to back in the day when the community, talking about the community could correct a child.
Yes.
They felt they had ownership of the children.
Yes.
What was different then that made them feel like they had ownership? Because currently it's not like that.
Because of the community, the family support system that were in place. You know that in every family, you can even, let's put it to the clan. Clan family, the extended, and then you come to the nuclear. The respect that is to be given to the extended is even greater than that is to be given to the parents themselves. So already you are formed from that angle.
Right.
Okay. So from that point, you can't fail. And because of that, the society owns you, your family, everyone around owns you. And you could be corrected. Because when you bring shame, it affects them. When you bring honor, it affects them. So they want the honor. So why wouldn't they correct you when you go wrong?
Somebody is of the opinion that because we've stopped having compound houses, it could also be one of the reasons.
It is the biggest challenge so far. everything that we have thrown out into the garbage from our past is simply because we have walled our houses, put in wild dogs, and you've written at the entrance, beware of the dogs. I won't come for the dog to harass or terrorize me. So you are left alone with the children, and you will go to work today. Your husband will go to work. Who is taking care of the child at home? So the support system that used to be that when even you have gone out to work, somebody is at home still taking charge of the child, is no longer available. So we have walled our houses and walled our families and walled our own dignity.
But then again, we want to say that there's so much crime and you can't feel protected if you don't wall your houses. So how do we say we are not going to wall our houses with the increments of crime?
When we used to live in a community where everything was open to all, did we have enough crime?
I can't tell to that.
Okay.
Yes.
You could, in Ghana here, some things you hear has happened and you say, hey, Abrofo, these things are going on at their place, but today they are here. We have copied and overcopied them. And then we have walled our houses because I fear you, you fear me. Okay? Maybe part could be attributed to this modern day Christianity where everything is about a witch and about someone doing you. So, me, I don't want trouble. Let me wall my house and keep my children inside so that I can bring them up in good morals.
Yeah.
Well, you can try that, but let me tell you, the danger people have not noticed is that you brought up your daughter so well in that house, walled house. Let me put it that way, walled house. I was brought up in the same neighborhood, but not walled. I didn't have a friend. When I became a vagabond, where do I vent my anger?
You go and vent it on the...
Your daughter, if your daughter is there, I'll rape her. She's a beautiful girl, and no one loves me.
Is that not why we are building the walls, so you don't have access to that?
That is the issue. The fear for that will rather bring about the calamity we are facing now.
But then again, Rev, I know people at home are definitely saying the fact that there were no walls doesn't mean there was no rape.
Well, it was something that was not usually happening.
Okay.
And whoever was found to have indulged in that will be punished by the community. So and the shame that will come upon you will not even dare. So as soon as they notice, then quickly they are looking for fowls, goats, sheep, appeasing gods, and the amount of money you spend, you wouldn't even dare do such a thing. So it's like, because we were open, we saw ourselves as brothers and sisters. I can't harm you. You can't harm me.
Rev, talking about all these things, there were some specifics that parents used or tricks they used to bring up their children. Let me give an example. Canaan using the eye to correct the child and all. Give us more examples of how parents were bringing up their children in the past.
I love the eye you use because my daddy used to. And there were instances where to survive, they can put stones in silver and put it on fire, tell you that food will be ready very soon. Just hold on, the food is coming. But it is stone. There's no food at home. But they will do this, and then you survive. You know that certainly. And by the time evening had come, you would have eaten. There were some of these things. They would also look at you when you are in the wrong. They will give you some work to do. Today, because of what you've done, you are filling the tank with water. Start now. How dare you not? You will do it. Sometimes the bad boys you didn't come to pound fufu, so you went to play. They will start pounding the fufu, leave it at a place you can't eat it like that, then they will leave yours unfinished.
And you have
When
to
you
come
come-
and finish it yourself.
So next time, you won't try it.
Right. I want us to take a break on this note. And when we come back, we'll have to be talking about the modern parenting skills. Because we are all modern parents. And what are we doing correctly? And what are we doing wrongly? Do stay with us. You're watching Changes. We'll be right back. You are watching Changes, and it is about the Ghana month. We are celebrating our heritage, comparing the old parenting skills to the new parenting skills. So back in the day, our parents used to correct us with canes. They used to correct us with their eyes. They used to correct us with different things. But now things are different, and we have Reverend Ken Arthur Staffel. Reverend Ken Arthur Staffel. I hope I got it right. I got it
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yay! Okay, so we have him here. He's with the Methodist Church of Ghana, and today he's helping us with our topic. And Reverend, you've spoken a lot about the olden day parenting. Now let's talk about the modern day parenting. What are the parents doing right today, and what are they doing wrong?
Do we say they are doing right or wrong? Maybe in their minds, they are doing their best. But society is not giving them the opportunity to offer their very best
It's about the society.
about the society. Changes in society, lifestyle, technology, social media, work, the job market. Do you want to sustain your life? You must work.
If you want to pay school fees,
You must work.
you must work. But then again, you know, the society will end up blaming you as a parent if your child should go wayward.
Precisely. But today, if you blame, how much more are you blaming? If you blame me, I'm the only person. It doesn't affect any, even though it may, but you realize that if I'm living in Accra, I may have come from somewhere else. So if you blame me, it ends with me.
What is it about society that is making the parents not push hard enough to correct or to bring up the children?
For bringing up the children, I said they are doing their best. In their minds, they are doing their best. But society, as I have mentioned, are pushing or putting so much stress on parents.
Let's talk about the things that society is doing by putting pressure on them.
I mentioned work.
You want to mention work?
Should we have both parents working? What time do we leave home to go to work? What time do we return? How much attention do we give to the child in the course of the 24-hour period? Or, okay, maybe we'll take the sleeping period out. So maybe 12 or 14-hour period. What time do we allot for the child? Traffic alone is taking about 3-4 hours. Morning 2 hours, evening 2 hours. Traffic alone.
Yes, that's so true.
Sure. So at the end of the day, parents tend to give their children what they want so that they will feel comfortable at home. But as to whether they are comfortable at home or not, it's only up to us to judge. You get it? So you then want to give your child maybe a tablet. Yeah.
So you just distract the child and go about your duties.
But in their mindset, they think they are doing their
But
best.
is it wrong to give your child a tablet?
No. Today, what they are learning, they need it. But where are you to monitor what they use the tablet for? You are not there. You remember, maybe you might have not gotten any, but during the COVID period that we were locked down, some videos came round showing what children were doing inside with mummies and daddy's phones, recording themselves, acting pornography, some of them doing threesome, twosome, foursome. Remember all these. So the gadgets we buy for our children end up spoiling them also. That is what is happening to the child of today. And parents are not getting answers to it.
Now let me ask you this. What about the child that is prevented from having these gadgets. You know, there are children who are prevented from it, but anytime they get their hands on it, they abuse it. Would you say the fact that they are not having access to it, that's why anytime they have access, they abuse it?
You see, we are discussing parenting, so I don't want to drift into that, man.
It's part of parenting, isn't it?
No, hold on. I don't want to drift into that, man, because it is on its own.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be one of the parenting styles and all that. Yeah, we have about 4 different types of parenting styles, and maybe it could be one of those coming in through there. But what happens is that anything that I think I need or I want, that my parents do not give to me, I try to search for it elsewhere. And that is what brings that issue that you just mentioned. If you give it to me, I'll have it. I'll be all right. If you don't give it to me, I'll go out looking for it. Well, if I go out there and I don't get it, and it still give it to me at another time, when I get it, I'll abuse it. Because I'm not used to. So once I've gotten to it, let me put all my last on it. And they will be good. And it's amazing how children know.
Yeah, so in a case like that, how then do you bring up that child?
Yes. It's not compulsory they should have it by all means. I am a parent. I have phones, I have these gadgets. My children are given assignments. So what I do is, do you want to play a game on the pad? Okay. Are you done with your homework? If you're done with your homework, we know the games, responsible games we have put on this thing that a child can play. But personally, I would prefer my child go out to play so that he or she grows the physical body than just going through the school the whole day, coming home with the homework, and then sitting down to play on the iPad. What happens is the child is not developing enough strength in the body. The mind is opening up, but the body is not supporting the mind. So we have obesity-related issues all around among children. So this would account for some of those things. But generally, when you give your child this, you refuse to give your child these things, it doesn't make you a mean person. Responsibly get it if you have the means to get it. Some parents don't even have.
They don't even have the means, but because the children are asking for it, they're actually forcing themselves to get it for the children.
But then, if you have the means and you get it, regulate it.
Right. What are some of the things or some of the ways that parents used to bring up their children that you advise that we bring it back today?
The days when we sat together to share and answer some answer stories. During the lockdown, I bought Owari, Ludu, and playing cards. It is either we are studying the Bible, we are playing Owari, Ludu together. I mean, those who can count and those who cannot count, we are all playing. It was such an amazing period. Okay, I've been saying that the lockdown was just a blessing in disguise in some way. Yeah, even though the disease was scary.
It was scary. It's still lingering. It's not gone.
Sure. Yeah. So by the fireside, we sat together and then we shared life. I got to know much of my family history through this kind of parenting. After supper, Daddy will usually give some stories. Sometimes we'll give you some history.
We need to bring it back.
We need to bring it back. We need to bring it back. But the question is, where would that time be? That is another challenge.
That's another challenge. I think that's the biggest challenge because like you said earlier, there's so much traffic in town.
Pressure.
There's so much pressure on the parents.
Economy
is tough. You need to make it. You want your children in the best of schools, and the school fees are so high. Hence, you don't have the time to sit down, but you have to work to earn the money to be able to pay the fees. Wow. What about caning? Let's talk about caning. I know caning has been banned in schools. Should we bring it back?
Well, let me say this. I'm not against caning, but I don't go in for caning.
Okay. Why?
Yes. You see, sometimes we beat children when they don't even know what they've done. We cane them without they themselves knowing what they've done. When we do that, you have not corrected the child. You have only instilled pain into the body and not discipline. People think that discipline is just pa, 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 and then you have to discipline the child. And I discipline him. Pa. No, you've not done anything. You've only instilled pain. Now, the child doesn't know what he or she has done. How can I help the child? When there's no law, how do I break a law? When did you, my father, my mother, tell me that this is wrong? So a first child offender or a first time offender is not to be punished like a child in the case of a child at home.
Right.
And it has been said that the best place for the child to fail is at home. The best place for the child to fail
It's at home.
is at home. Let the child make a mistake at home. Then you know that, hey, this is a disease. This is something I have not taught my child. Use the opportunity to teach and warn. Okay. If there's no law, because there will not be any offender, the child whom you have not given a law cannot offend. So he or she is in the world of his own. So once the child gets something done and you think it's not correct, your first reaction, even if you condemn, sometimes, I mean, we act upon what we have just seen. You may be fast to act or shout or no problem. Let's take it as a quick response to it. After that, get to know that this thing I've not taught my child. Then discuss it with the child. Help the child to understand what it is. And then ask, so now do you understand? Yes. Will you do it again? No. So if you do it, the next time what should happen? The child will prescribe what should happen. Okay. The child said, cane me. All right.
Then you go ahead and do it.
Don't go ahead and do it.
Okay. But you said the child said you should do
Yes.
it. Okay.
So I'm coming. Once the child has said that, it means that now he or she knows there's a law. You did not set the law for her or him. The two of you have sat down to set the law. And you have prescribed punishment or discipline to it. Then the child offends again. What did we say the other time about this? We said, no. So why did you do it? Sometimes they may have a simple reason which might have been good that they did it. Unfortunately, it ended up in the wrong thing. Okay, what did we say the other time? Then the child will remind you what the two of you have said. Once the child has been able to bring it out, then it means the child is aware that I'm not supposed to do this. Good. That is when you ask, so what did we say will happen? Then the child will repeat it. Then I'm going to cane you. You can pick the cane, just one something in so the way mommy talked to me, the way daddy talked to me, he has still looked at my face and caned me.
Yeah.
That one
will definitely work on the child's senses. Right.
And he might even cry more than having caned him more than about
well, that's so true, Reb. Well, today it's been a great conversation with you, Reb. Let's take your final word before we go. Your advice to the modern parents. Obviously, the past is gone, but the current ones are the ones that need the advice.
Parents, I'm also a young parent. We saw what our fathers, our mothers took us through. But here we are faced with the challenge of the society in which we live today. A professor once said, the grade A parents then who were brought up from the village and the scratch on the scraps are now producing grade B students. Why? Maybe we are overindulging them. Let's see how best we'll give them exactly what they need and how will supervise them to see that what we have given them will help them build a better future. Let us guide them. As a Christian, I can't live here without saying that train them in the ways of God. Let Christ be found in the child. Then have time for the child. Listen to their conversations. Be their friend. Let them tell you all that happened in school today. Let them tell you everything. Don't say I'm in a hurry. You have come back home. You are tired. So what? Just listen to whatever thing that they are saying. And once you have listened to it, sometimes you can even trace some issues that may be reeling their hair somewhere, and then you can correct it. Just give the child attention. Listen to them and make them your friends. You'll be a good parent. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Rev, for being here. Of course, let's take our sip. We can't leave here without taking our drink from AfriPub. And mine is Sobolo. And Rev, what are you having as well?
Yes,
You're having Sobolo as well.
Yes.
So yes, if you are having any event and you want to call on anybody, look no further. Just call on AfriPub. She'll be there to serve you. Thank you so much for being here, Rev.
Thank you, but you remind me of the olden day.
Olden day in the calabash.
Calabash. Even if you drink water, it's calabash.
It's calabash.
If you serve a guest, it's a calabash.
It's calabash. That's so true. Don't go anywhere. Stick and stay because we have more for you. But I've been talking to Reverend Ken Arthur Safo. Thank you so much. When we come back, we go to the Bono and Ahafo region to prepare some food. Stay with us.
Changing.
So we are back in our kitchen and we are cooking from Bono and Ahafo. It's all about body and pesie. AfriPub will be cooking that. I want to leave the kitchen for her to do her thing. And when we come back, we'll talk some more. So do stay with us.
Changing.
It's the Bronga Ahafo region, and we are preparing apim, ampesi, and yabum, kontomre abum. So I have here I'm actually steamed kontomre. I have eggs here. I have onions. I have tomatoes, some pepper, and then Kobe, the original. We can't do that without our paya. In our Kambiwa Hasi. Yeah, the bed box and one bed box and not just are you complete? Yes. So we have already, due to timing, we have already boiled our plantain here. It's almost cooked. Yes, it's almost cooked. So we'll continue with the rest. With this, let's put our eggs on fire. Note that you should not boil eggs in hot water. Then first you share and you have to share a bit pie. So we have our eggs on fire. Then we would fry our Kobe and onions too. So let me do the slicing down. Kobe woma ede jene ne so timwa very fine. Make sure, as I always say, that you don't cut off your fingers. Yes. We'll start to grind our pepper and tomatoes down. Okay. just cut them to pieces for easy grinding. Yeah. So my tomatoes is ready. Just a little will do, that's okay for us. We have to wait for it to melt. So whilst waiting, we just took off our pim. Yes. And when our pim is cooked like this, you pour the hot water away. Na dia sonson no. Se wo dey nsuo nwunu gu apem no ho a, na sonson. So we put cold water on it. So it will just harden up a little and not be fluffy whilst hot. Yeah. Okay, so keep this down till we are done cooking, then we serve it with it. Great job. Kobe papabi. So we fry our Kobe in this oil. So you can actually use the Kobe. But to me the tree. Would be trim. And I say ube janesa. Now so if you want to eat it like that, you have to keep it in water for a while to soften it and also to remove the salt content. Yes, you know, salt is not good for our health. Too much is not good for our health. And we use the salt to preserve the tilapia to make the Kobe. So you can actually soak it for a while and then wash it off, so that you can get a very nice taste of the Kobe. Let's add our onions then. You see a train kakra na etchi. You be train ama e je ni mu achi kakra. So whilst we are waiting for that to happen, we really have to also grind our contomere very well. We'll just mash it through, not make it so smooth. At the dema and also so edgy. So we have here pepper, we have some tomatoes, and some onions, and a little bit of dawa dawa to give it a flavor. Yes, dawa dawa is actually good for the eyesight. It contains vitamin A, so do not eliminate it from your food if you really need vitamin A. Okay, so here is our contomere. We'll mash that one too. Hi, Papa. You can have a small backyard garden. You can get these fresh contomere for your backyard garden and eat fresh. These are healthy meals. apem ne kontomire abum. There are various ways. I could have just grinded the tomatoes and then I'll put in the kontomire mash as well. You can have it like that and just pour on it your fresh, your fried onions in the palm oil. I like to put in one of the kobe to give it a very great flavor. I just smash this one too in. Beware of these bones. They can really hurt you. So if you see them in, just take it off and continue with your cooking. Already I'm feeling the aroma. Let's just fry our tomatoes. Just for a while, not so long. I think this is okay now. While we are waiting, we can also cut our pear. Avocado pear, paya. Oba yekoma sesa ne friend paya. Always make sure you take the bad ones out, so you have a clean eat. Just stir like this. Yeah, so yeah. Let's see this. Whilst we pour this in here. just mix it up.
Changing.
Our food is ready. What do you say, Papa? With some Kobe on there, with pear. I mean, you should be here to smell it. It's not just looking at it, the smell alone. But guess what? I'm not doing the tasting today because I can't be that greedy all the time. Today, I want Dr. Anani Boama to do the tasting for us. And when he tastes, he'll definitely let us know how it tastes like. I know you are wishing to be in his shoes, but you cannot be in his shoes.